the peace it brings is worth fighting for.
Number 9.
My life, oh Lord.
Number 7.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The one and only God. You are God.
Number 6.
I will do anything.
Number 5. Number 4. Number 3.
Did you help us sing this tonight? Say you're amazing. Shout you're amazing.
Number 2.
Join Lady T, Art the Baptist, Robert Reno, and myself as we play the best in gospel music on the D. Curtis Randall Show, Saturdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Central on urbanbroadcastmedia.com. You be
now boarding the McCain Train with Reverend Rick and author Brenda McCain. They're bringing hot and powerful topics regarding relevant issues on marriage, relationships, and life-changing family topics. And they are funny, engaging, energetic, and they bring real talk that reaches beyond the walls of the church. They have been successful because they have discussed topics like, help me, I want to grow old. My addiction is hurting my relationship. Aborted but not forgotten. Living in an HIV/AIDS relationship. The hand that loves me is hurting me. So if you want to know their glory, you have to know their backstory. So get on board the McCain Train and listen to the Let's Stay Together Internet Talk Show.
Director of Malcolm Williams and Great Faith, and you're listening to the Let's Stay Together Show.
Hello, this is Reverend Rick McCain, and I'm with my wife, author Brenda McCain, my baby, my girl, my boo, and this is the Let's Stay Together Show, and we are here and honored to be here with Terry Vaughn. And Terry, we are just so happy to have you here on the Let's Stay Together Show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Well, great. Tell us a little bit about your role in this movie, 72 Hours.
You're Ricky Dillon, and you're listening to the Let's Stay Together radio show.
Hello, this is Reverend Rick McCain, and I'm here with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain from the Let's Stay Together show, and I love my wife. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, this is an actor that I love. Mr. Harry Lennox, it is so nice to see you, sir. Thank you for being on the Let's Stay Together show.
Well, thank you, Rick. This is great, and I am honored to be with you and your beautiful wife.
Well, my question for this beautiful lady is she's very modest, and if I can give a shout out to you, because I got approval for, because this is my girl. I'm taking it back to Levita from Steve Harvey, but I love all of her work and everything that she does. And she's a 3-time Emmy Award winner, so that's why I said she's modest, and I know you're going to bring to this movie the goodness that you brought to Debbie's little girl, because you was so good as a level-headed girlfriend that kept everything going.
She was mean.
She was level-headed. She was, but I love you.
Very
so
judgmental.
You don't do mean roles. I love you.
If you would like to advertise on the Let's Stay Together Talk Show or be a sponsor, contact us at letsstaytogethertalkshow.com and call 708-713-4958. Welcome back to the Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your next stop, the McCain Train.
Now here is the Let's Stay Together Show with Reverend Ricardo McCain and author Brenda McCain, helping you to rebuild your relationships with God.
Hey, we're back on the air of the Let's Stay Together Show. My baby got broke the thing over here. Yeah, I'm gonna bust you out because you can't be breaking things like that. We can't afford buying things over here. We poor. Okay. You know, we're gonna have. I like you, but how many broke items? Hey, we're right back for the Let's Stay Together show. I like you, but how many kids we're talking about? What's your limit? I want you to call right now at 312-754-4333. That's 312-754-4333. Baby, what's your question you got over there?
My question is, would you be concerned about a person who has multiple kids who was never married to the father or mother of the kids? Okay, everybody, jump on in on that.
All right. Well, who you asking? Who you asking?
Okay, Walter, go ahead, man. Talk to me.
Oh, absolutely. But that depends on, is the other person married? I mean, it depends. If I walk up to a person who have all these children, never been married, then the question is, can I properly qualify her? Because if I've never been married, then we good in a sense. But if I've been married and have the experience of marriage, although it went awry or I would still be married, then I would consider, I would vet her in a sense to say, well, how could you possibly help me? Because you seem like you're wayward. Now, that's in some men's mind. They look at her with children and say,
That's true.
She's wayward.
Mhm.
She's all over the place. And when we get married, is she still going to be wayward? Okay, is she still, will she be faithful to me? Or is she still living that life of allowing men to, sow seed into her life, if you know what I mean?
Well, before you answer, Leslie, he took it on a different spin because I'm thinking a more aspect of man or woman. Wasn't aiming at anyone, specifically.
Well, he gave you the man's point of view.
Right, he did.
Sure.
But I'm just saying,
It's a man's world.
You're dating. You see someone you're attracted to. You want to date them. 4 different kids by 4 different fathers. No stability is what I'm looking at. It's like, what is really going on that you have multiple fathers for your children? Now, I always say 1 or 2. Sometimes that is, you've been married, a person died, you divorced, you go on to your second set. But when you got the 4 to 5 and 6, not placing judgment, but realistically, it's like, why aren't you married to none of them? Not one time something failed, didn't work out, somebody died or something happened. You just never married. And I'm saying that to the man from a woman's point of view. You spread your seed all around, and you never felt as though, hey, I need to really raise my children in one household.
You got to give them an opportunity because you can't put everybody in that bucket. Again, I got married to a woman who had several children by a couple of fathers. I couldn't prejudge her because of that. I had to look at her through the lens of someone brand new.
Was she ever married?
Yeah, she was married to one,
Well,
it
see?
lasted like 6 months.
Well, at least she tried.
Somebody tried and somebody failed. Okay, and then it was, and we can't just say because she had children with a man doesn't mean she didn't have relationships with other men. She just didn't get pregnant by those other men. Okay, so when I realized later on the history, there were other men. She just didn't have children by her. So she looked non-stable to me at first, but then I had to again give her an opportunity because she was giving me an opportunity who had children, who had several women in my life, okay, and on and on. So we both had baggage coming into that relationship, and I had to give her a chance, and she gave me a chance as well.
Yeah, I think, everybody makes mistakes. Everyone has baggage. I think that we all, the important thing is, did we learn from our situation? And what did we learn from that situation? And I think that's when communication is key. You want to get to know this person, this potential partner, find out what happened, what did they learn from the situation, what they would do differently looking back. And those are some indicators that will let you know kind of where that person's mindset is. If they're just like, oh, they're blaming the other person. Oh, well, yeah, okay, I have 4 kids by 4 different women, but all the women did this, and it's all their fault. Those are red flags. Those are red flags. That's somebody who's not taking accountability for their part that they played in that.
Yeah, and another thing I'll say is that we are very quick to place judgment on people because of what society says is how many kids a person should have. There are all kind of situations that can happen where a person will have multiple kids, and even if they have multiple kids by different men, it wasn't necessarily that was their intent. They had a child by one man, it didn't work out, and then now she felt that she was going to be in a relationship with this other guy, and she was hoping that would work out, and then they got romantic with each other, and she got pregnant, and for some reason that didn't work out. It doesn't make her a bad person. It doesn't make her unstable. It just makes, she made a couple of bad choices, of being with these men, that the relationship didn't extend as far as she wanted to. But it doesn't mean that she is, a bad person. Now, why you look at me like that for? Because it is bad choices. Because if you decided to be with that person and it didn't work out, it's a bad choice. What would you call it?
Okay. I call it a not careful choice. And again,
okay, that's just a different word, isn't it?
It's not a different word. Let me explain
a not
the difference.
Careful choice.
Let me explain the difference to you. Because first of all, like you said, I'm gonna play Rick now.
Oh, please
you
don't
be
do
out
that.
there having sex, not married anyway.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
That's my part.
Now, since y'all won't let me, no, I'm just kidding. So now, since that's how we feel, I mean, that's what we're thinking. As a mother of 4 girls, I don't have a problem if you're out there having sex. I mean, I do with my girls, but I'm just saying I don't have a problem if you're out there having sex. But what's wrong with protected sex?
That's true. I mean, and that's why I said bad choices. I didn't say the choice of man. You've made bad choices. You didn't decide to maybe protect yourself, or you didn't decide to say, before I have some kind of a sexual relationship with this man. And of course, Reverend McCain will sit there and say, you shouldn't have been having sex in the first place until you got married. You messed up the first time and didn't get married. You shouldn't do it again. But that's not how the world is. That's how Jesus is. That's how Reverend McCain is. But that's not how the world is. And so people will get emotionally attached to someone, and they'll get out there and be in relationships. Or a man might sit there and lie and tell a woman, hey, baby, this just don't feel comfortable me that way.
And I get that.
And those things happen. So you make bad choices.
I totally get that. Like I said, I was 19 years old when I had my first child.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord knows I am not judging anybody. But I knew I did this once, and I didn't want to do this again without a husband. Therefore, I made sure that I didn't until I was in a position to have a husband and continue to have children, because it is hard to date. The first time I tried to go on a date with my child, I think she was like maybe a year or two, and the guy was like, I really like you. I want to go out, and we were talking, and we were going to go out. And he says, I'm coming over to pick you up. Let's, go out somewhere. He knew I had a kid. What else am I going to do with my kid at the spur of the moment when you call to say, let's go out? I come out the house with my kid, and I look out. He got a 2-seater car. And he like, where's she going? So I said, she's going back in the house with me. No, she's going back in the house with me. And I didn't date him. Well, I didn't, see him anymore. But that was his choice, and I get it. I'm not mad at him. But I knew that was not the right choice for me. But I also knew that not only did I not want to have, like you said, a father over here and a father over here, because I didn't want that kind of drama in my life. And this is the one thing I wanted to say earlier with the question, whichever one of you all asked about the too many and would you do it, date it? Because guess what? If you've got 5 kids over here, let's say you got 3 different mothers for those children. Now, we a new couple. We trying to live together and do our thing. So we going to get your kids on the weekend. But this mama might want me to have them this weekend. That mama might want me to have them another weekend. This mama might want to have me another weekend. When we going to be us? So, yeah, I do have a problem with a bunch of multiple different kids. Not that I don't love kids, and I would welcome them in as my own, but somewhere we got to draw the line.
Talk to me, Leslie. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I think it's important, again, to look at, okay, what kind of choices am I making, and what are some of my long-term goals?
Yeah.
When we're thinking about, okay, like Brenda was saying, it happens once, it happens twice. Okay, now what do I want for my children? What do I want for my future? Children are expensive, okay? So when we bring children into the world, you have to think about those children need to be educated. You want those children to have good opportunities. The more children you have without help, the less resources that your children are going to have access to. So we, I think, need to really start and focus on what are our long-term goals instead of kind of living for the right now. I think, we do, as a people, we like to have fun. We like to live for the now, but we don't do that long-term planning. And that's important.
And, one thing I'm going to say for my baby coming with a question is that a lot of times people don't realize is that when you're in that moment, as Marvin Gaye would say, let's get it on. When you're in that moment and things happen, you need to understand that once that child comes in, priorities change. it's not just what I want to do. You've brought a life in there. You're responsible for that life. Now, I'm totally against it. It's not going to be a surprise for some of you all. If you don't want to watch the show after this, I understand.